Hey, what's up? I'm John Charette, and today, if you saw my last video, you saw that I got one of these bad boy AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. And I would like to install it. I'm gonna run through that process today, and then we're gonna find out if it's worth the upgrade from the Ryzen 7 2700X. So, I mean, I realize that some of you may want to see this whole process, and I'll take the whole thing apart and put it together, but some of you may find it boring as F. So if you'd like to fast forward, I will post the time where I can tell you some of the results, see what happens. But if not, I mean, watch me go through the process. I mentioned a couple neat stuff. But let's get this thing opened. Heatsink. Okay, there. Processor hanging here. Okay, processor goes there. Box, we don't need. Put that here. Put that over here just for fancy. That's what we're doing. Okay, let's look inside this cooler. Cooler's inside the box. Now, know that there's of the 5600, the 5800, and the 5900X, only the 5600 comes with a heatsink. I assume that's because they think you'll probably have something better that you like, that you overclock with. I don't particularly overclock. I don't like messing with it. I'm gonna install it and let it go. I've been using this 2700 now for a couple years now. Absolutely love it with the stock cooler. Cool. So, here it is here. Not bad. A little bit smaller looking, kind of a circle with the thermal pad on the bottom, which is nice. Let's put that right there. Don't need this anymore. Keep that. Awesome. So, next thing, we need to take this thing apart. Now, if I can remember how I put this thing on. Okay, you just pull. You just pull. Okay. I just got the heatsink off. Put that here. Pretty cool. You can see thermal paste in the bottom. Awesome. Very different. I'm wondering if this is aftermarket. It says AMD right on the top though, but like, it's significantly bigger. Wow. Okay. That. Okay, let's get the new CPU out. Have a place to put. Okay. There it is. See that? Let's put that guy right here. Try not to bend the pins. Let's take this guy out. Out. I'm going to. Okay, new one. Let's put the new one in. Knife in. Perfect. Clamp that guy down. So it looks like this is uses different mounting brackets. So I need to take these screws out. Okay. One. 4. This guy goes here. This guy on top screws into those mounts. So CPU fans over here, so that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so I think that is it. Feels pretty darn secure. Okay. Reconnect the fan. That's it. Okay, so I think I have successfully swapped over the CPU. I'm gonna clean one off. Part of this, the question is it worth to switch from the 2700X to the 5600X? Well, I haven't even tested it. I literally just put it in yet. I assume it'll be faster. The real question is more, is it worth 500 bucks? I mean, right now it's going for I paid $429. It's now up at $439 Canadian. Tax comes like $485, 500 bucks. We'll say 500 bucks for easy cash, easy money. Well, I threw the 2700X on Kijiji yesterday for $275, and I have someone who's gonna come tomorrow to pick it up for $240. So that's pretty much half the cost of this new processor. So to me, that's already a win, and I haven't even installed it yet. So let's get the motherboard back into the box and throw it back in the computer, and we'll see how it performs. Cool? Nice. Okay. So he's finally done. Now let me know if you're into that, the hardware kind of build process. I kind of didn't realize how much fun it was until I got into it. So if you like watching that kind of thing, let me know, leave me a comment, and I'll do more of it. Hey, what's up? It's been about a week since I installed the 5600X, and I'm super disappointed so far. Let me get into it. I mean, I figured for a 3-year newer CPU, it would be better. I mean, yes, the 2700X has 8 cores and the 5600X has 6 cores, but we'll get back to that in a bit. All right, before we get started, here's the test machine I was using. It's, I don't know, 2-year-old hardware, nothing too fancy, but I think it works well with the idea of upgrading from the 2700 to the 5600. Okay, now jumping into the benchmarks, I started with Cinebench R23, and the first test is a multi-core test, and that's where I saw a 21% difference. And I mean, this is where I started to say, like, 21%, really? Like, it's not that big of a change. But then, I mean, when I went to userbenchmark.com and compared the 2700 to the 5600, it literally said the effective speed increase was like 17%, and with an average score of 22. So, I mean, should I really be too surprised that I only saw 21% in Cinebench? I just think it should have been better. Now we're talking single core speeds. Now, if you check out the graph, it's kind of hard to tell, but there was a 55% increase in speed. So then I paused and asked myself, okay, great, that's awesome that single core is better, but when is it actually used? I mean, I Googled it, I put in like examples of single core applications in Windows, and got nothing. It just talked about multi-core. So if multi-core is the hype, and it kind of always has been, then what's the purpose of having a faster single core CPU? I don't know. If you know, please leave a comment below. Now's the perfect time. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button. It really increases my chance that YouTube will share this and recommend it to others. Okay, let's jump over to some gaming benchmarks. I'm pretty new to the whole benchmarking thing, so I ended up doing a search and finding one called Catzilla. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. It is super cool. It's ridiculous. It reminds me of the new Godzilla versus Kong commercial trailer. It's thoroughly enjoyable.
It's Godzilla.
All right, so here are the numbers. At 576p resolution, which no one uses, there was a 21% increase. So similar to what I saw with the multi-core. And then as you get into the higher resolutions, it literally just got worse and worse. At 720p, there was 7%, and at 1080p and 1440p, which is what most people use, there was a 1% increase in speed. And surprisingly enough, at 4K, there was a 5%, which surprised me a bit. But I don't know. Like I'm gaming here on this Asus 34-inch ROG monitor, and it's running 1440p. And if at that resolution, which I think is pretty standard now, you're getting 1%, sucks. Now let's not forget that I'm running an older GTX 1080 video card, which is considered pretty long in the tooth right now. But still, 1% increase? I mean, it pretty much confirms that the GPU is absolutely still the bottleneck in my computer. All right. So what about you computer editing nerds, right? You think, okay, maybe it'll help my performance in Premiere Pro. I did a render test of one of my old videos using the 2700X, and it took 217 seconds, right? I did the exact same test, the exact same render, and it took 201 seconds. A lovely 7% difference. So disappointing. But I realize the more I look into these CPUs is I may be comparing the wrong ones. I mean, I initially picked the 2600X because it was the same price point of the 2700X when I bought them around $450. But when I start to look at the specs, I mean, back to what I mentioned, the 2700X has 8 cores and the 5600X has 6 cores. Maybe I should be looking at the 5800X that also has 8 cores with the same 105 TDP versus the 65 that's on the 5600X, which then explains, I mean, with the 65 TDP, 65 watt TDP, why that heatsink on the 5600 is so small, right? Compared to the other 2700 one. So should I get a 5800 instead? But here's the problem. The cost of the 5800X is $640. It's 30% more than the 5600X. And it doesn't, I mean, yeah, it's probably a more direct comparable to the 2700X in cores and TDP, but cost-wise, that's what I paid for a 2700X a couple years ago. So if you want to be in that same price point, it's a huge fail in my opinion. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you have a 2700, keep it. It's an awesome CPU and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The 8 cores still rock extremely hard. I would absolutely put your money towards a better GPU. Grab yourself a 3700 or a 3070, 3080, something like that, the 3000 series or the new Radeon 6000 series. You'll be a better bang for your buck, 100%.